Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am doing my January wrap up and I read six books this month, which is a lot for being me, especially since I've been in a reading slump for ages. 3 of them was for school though, so I don't know if those count, but I'm going to talk about them anyways, because we're getting into that part of my course where we actually read the whole book and not just parts of a book. So the first thing I read this year was Hamlet, and it's very tabbed up because I wrote a big essay on this one, comparing it to another book that I'm going to talk about. But Hamlet I gave 4 stars, and it's the first, no it's not the first, it's the second Shakespeare play I've ever read. Me and Shakespeare are not the best of friends. I think it's because I'm Swedish and we don't study Shakespeare as like English speaking countries do in school, and so when I had to read Shakespeare, especially in English, it was a bit harder to understand how to read it. But then I had the best singing / acting teacher ever who helped me so much when I read my first Shakespeare play, which was Twelfth Night, and I now need to read more Shakespeare because it's Shakespeare, and I feel like every person who reads should read more Shakespeare. So anyway, it was good. Yeah, I mean, I read it from a perspective of the females, so Gertrude and Ophelia, and then I had my whole thesis about Ophelia being like the main hero of the story, kind of. So yeah, it was good, but not the best, and I will probably not reread it again, I don't think. We'll see. The next book I read for my essay was to compare Hamlet, and this is Gargantua by Francois Rabelais, maybe? I do not speak French, I took German in school. This might be the most boring book I have ever read. It was so boring. And it was so horrible, especially going in from a female perspective and focusing my whole essay on females, and there being basically no females at all in Gargantua. I have not read Pantagruel yet because it's 4 books in that, and I have not read it yet because I did not like Gargantua. I gave this a... Well, I haven't rated it yet because I want to finish the whole thing before I rate it, because it's obviously the whole book. But if I was just going to rank Gargantua, I would rate it a 1 star. Sorry. The main reason is because this book has like titles for all the chapters, and it's like in which this person did this thing, and then it's just a full long explanation of that thing, but it's not interesting in any sort of way. I've read 2 other books that are like that, and that is Phantom of the Opera and Candide, and both of those did that so much better and had way better pacing. And I just didn't like this book. It was so all over the place, and I really didn't like it. So we'll see when I pick up Pantagruel. It won't be yet for a long while, I don't think. The next book I read for school was Candide by Voltaire. This again has, like, just like Gargantua, it has a title for all the chapters, so like, in which Candide did this. And this book did it so much better. Like, this was a good book. I gave it a 4 star. And I actually liked this one. It was good, but it's not one that I'll pick up again, but it was good. And I liked how Voltaire did the whole satire against everything during the Enlightenment, and how he basically threw everyone under the bus and was like, you kind of suck. I liked it, it was good, but it's not one that I will pick up again, I don't think. Next book I read was Robinson Crusoe, and this might also be one of the most boring books I've ever read. I gave this a 2 stars, so it was a bit better than Gargantua, but nothing to the hype. Like, I just... This version, at least, doesn't have any chapters, so the first part is just one big chunk, and then when it gets stranded on the island, that's a whole chunk, so that's like over 100 pages of just chunks of text. So I started to listen to this an audiobook, and that had chapters, so that was a bit easier, but it still was horrible. I don't know, I just feel like nothing happened. He was stranded on an island and did shit. Like, I don't know, I could not get into this. But it's a classic, and I have read it, and it's definitely not one that I will ever read again. I will never pick it up again. I just wanted to tear the book apart so many times while reading it. So yeah, I'm never gonna pick this one up again. And then we're going into the 3 books that I read for my own personal enjoyment. I have so many mixed feelings, and these books will be more spoilery since they're not classics, and they are all 3 YA books. And if you see a book that you have not read yet that you don't want spoiled, please just skip ahead. There will be timestamps somewhere, probably in the description, so that you can skip the books that you haven't read and want to read, so that you don't get spoiled, because I will be ranting about some of these books. The first book I started reading, at least, was Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. My only question is why. I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. Mostly because it was so boring. It was so boring. Like, the first, like, 200 pages or something was so boring. Like, up until chapter 15, when we get to know who the Darkling actually is, was so boring. And then it started to pick up in that chapter. I was like, oh, maybe the story will pick up and it'll start being more interesting now. But no, it was only that chapter. It was only chapter 15. And then we were on the run. And then Mal came back. And then we were on the run with Mal for like so long. And then the Darkling came and killed the stag, and I don't know, I just did not like this. I know so many people love the Grishaverse, and I've heard that Six of Crows is kind of the better series. I've heard people like it more, at least, so I will continue the series. I will read the next 2 books just to see what happens. I'm mostly reading it because of the Netflix show coming out. So yeah, I don't know, no, I didn't fall for any of the characters. I didn't like anyone. Like, even the Darkling. I thought I would like the Darkling because I usually like the bad boys, like the dark boys. But no, the Darkling was just like, no, I didn't like him. I didn't like Lena, I didn't like Mal, I didn't like anyone in this whole book. Not even Alina, I wanted to like her, but she was like so bland and just being like, I'm in love with that. Sorry to everyone who likes Shadow and Bone. I feel so bad. But that's just my opinion, and please don't hate me in the comments. Maybe she'll grow in the next 2 books. I do not know. But I just did not like her. We'll see what happens in the next 2 books. Next up, I finished, finally, The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J Maas. I started this in, I think November or December or something. I started last year. And I stopped reading when I only had 50 pages left to read, like an idiot. Good work, me. But I gave this a 4 out of 5 in the end. I hated Selena in this. Like, she was such a bitch. Sorry for my language, she was such a bitch in this one. Like, she was just mad all the time. Like, every time she did something, she was mad. And like, she hated on Sam for so long, and then when he died, she was like, oh my god, I actually love him. Like, no, I don't know, I didn't fall too much in love with this one, but it was an enjoyable read. I always love a good Maas book, but I have learned afterwards that you should read this a bit later on in a series if you want more emotional impact, if you don't mind being spoiled, but I don't know. I liked Sam though. Sam was good. Sam deserved better before he died. He deserved so much better than Selena. I'm so sorry. And I don't know. My favourite of the 5 was The Assassin and Healer. Yeah. But yeah, no, not too good, but also not bad. It wasn't Shadow and Bone boring. Last book I read was From Glass, also by Sarah J Maas. It's the continuation of The Assassin's Blade. I had so many feelings about this book. Like, this is also your time to click off if you don't want to get completely spoiled of this book. This book I also give 4 stars. Well, actually 3.5, but leaning more towards 4. It was... Again, this didn't pick up for so long. Like, for so long. Like... Selena is still a bitch. I mean, she is. Sorry to everyone who likes her. I hope she gets better. But... I don't know, I definitely hate Dorian. Sorry to everyone who stands Dorian. I don't know if those people exist, but I did not like him. He was just a stuck up little brat just wanting to have sex. Like, he was such a horny mess. The whole book. I even made a tweet about it on my Twitter being like, why is Dorian such a horny mess? Because that's what he is. He's just constantly horny. So I'm happy that Selena, in the end of this book, just friend-zoned him. Like, thank you. Before you could get too far with him, you friend-zoned him. Good work. And I also know that people hate on Chaol. Like, why do you hate him? I do not understand. What does he do for people to hate him? Like, what does he do? Because in this book he's precious and I loved him, and like... I know he won't get with Selena because I live on the internet, so I've seen spoilers and I know that she'll end up with someone else. But, like, why do people hate him? They have, like, such a cute relationship, and I feel like it will be kind of like Feyre and Cassian, or Feyre and Lucian, like, you know, the sibling bond kind of thing. It won't be relation. No, it won't be, like, romantic relationships, because no. Just no. But this book started picking up when she found the hidden passageway and she went down to the tomb and she started talking to Helena. Like, that's when things started to pick up, in my opinion. Like, before that I was just like, what is happening? Why do we care at all? Then I read a review on Goodreads actually that said that Selena's the worst assassin ever, and I was like, she kind of is, yeah. And one of the arguments they had was like, you know, she sleeps through the night, but like she doesn't wake up at all when, you know, people just walk in and out of her room, and she eats the candy that's just laying there on her bed when people are getting killed. Like, it's so true. Like, what is it? She's made the door creak so that she'll hear when people enter her apartments. But then again, Dorian just walks in and out like crazy, and I'm like, what the fuck? Dorian, stop just walking into rooms, please. Just stop it. Stop. I don't know, it's just... And then she just eats the candy without even checking if it's poisoned. Same with the wine in the end. Like, she just drinks it. Like... What? What is wrong with you? You're like the worst assassin ever. And I get that she's been in the mines and, you know, she has kind of PTSD and shit. But still, if you are the world's greatest assassin, you should actually probably act on it and not just be a little bitch. But yeah, no, I don't know. I knew Kane kind of was behind it all. Like... it wasn't a big cliffhanger. Like, cliffhanger wasn't a big surprise when it was revealed that was Cain. Like, I didn't really have anyone else to suspect of being the bad guy. Like, Cain was the only one, in my opinion. So it was just like, what? It wasn't like anticlimactic or anything. Not even a fight. The fight just dragged on. Like, Hale was good. Like, why do people hate him? He was so cute. He was like, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. And I was like, yeah, get up, Selena. Get up, Selena. Yeah, Selena grew in this book for me. From the Assassin's Blade, she was more, I don't know, I just think she grew more. Even if she's still stupid, she grew. And I was so happy when she friend-zoned Dorian. I was like, thank you for friend-zoning Dorian. And I have read the synopsis for Crown of Midnight, and oh, it sounds so good. Like, it sounds so good. And then I read, not a spoiler, but a thing on Twitter that was like, the plot twist. And I was like, oh, there's a plot twist. So now I need to read that. So I'm going to start that today. And I mean, pick it up because it's good, but don't go for the review that it's like the Hunger... Well, it's kind of like the Hunger Games in a way. But it's... I haven't read Game of Thrones, so I can't decide for that one. But I can see why people wouldn't like it. I can see why people love it. But I hope that the series gets better as it goes, because I know that ACOTAR did for me. Like, it like, Mist and Fury was the best so far. So I hope that it gets better. Yeah. Anyways, those were all the books I read in January, and it was a lot of books. I don't know exactly how many pages it was because I haven't figured that out yet, but I would say it's around 1,200 pages, which is a lot for me because in December I didn't read like anything. I hope you're having a lovely day, everyone, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.